Okay, welcome back. I have, I guess, done a few things to get going, and most of them were kind of freaking easy. I installed the rear drive and filled it up with oil, and looks good, is not leaking. I installed the rear fender. I have the bar that goes across here that attaches here. I haven't put that on yet, but everything that I've done is kind of like just housekeeping. Obviously, we have the rear drive on. There's a black piece in here that I installed. This goes through the fender. It also mounts to the transmission fluid, automatic transmission fluid. It mounts here as well. There are these spike things. I'm not sure what they are. I'm certain it must be with the cover. Installed the fuse panel and the diode board. Have installed the brake lever. And again, all of this is temporary. When I say temporary, everything is a work in progress. And I'm not saying I'm actually installing absolutely everything. I actually have a bucket of parts right there and my bucket of parts there. So every single part that I took off, unless it's being replaced, is actually going back on. There are the knee, I call them, I guess, knee protectors. I haven't put those on yet. There are protectors. There are guides for the spark plug wires. I have those. I just haven't put them on yet. The I don't have the brake lines on the back yet. It is, the ones I have are just awful, so I've ordered some other replacements. I put the floorboards on. I'm probably going to replace the floorboards. That one looks okay. The other one is not that great, but I've cleaned it. I have media blasted it. I painted it, and I put on the rubber pieces. I do not have the crash bars on because I'm going to put those on toward the end. Here's the wiring harness. We're actually going to start that like next. I have the front brake on, and I made a new line. There is there's a bracket that holds it right here. I'm going to put that on. I have it. I installed the headlight bucket because we're going to start working on it. This is the splitter, and there is a brake switch here. I don't know if the brake switch works. I've installed the brake handle. I've actually bled it. It's working. Those discs are really rusty, so I'm going to see if the brake pads will clean it off a little bit, but it's very, it turns, and the brakes work incredibly. That one brake works incredibly well. I've installed the brake on this side, and you can see how scratchy it is. I'm waiting on the brake line for this one. I have installed the stand, the side stand, and the side stand is really kind of ingenious. I have the parking brake light switch. I think that's what it's called. Goes here, and this is for the parking brake. So this is not an easy part to find either. So when the parking brake, when this side stand is engaged, it is going to push up on this, and it's going to pull a cable here. When it moves out, this cable gets pulled back down. So that's going to be the normal position when this goes down, yeah, I gotta see this work, to be honest. I gotta see it work in action. So I do not have any diagrams on this. So like I said before, the carbs are kind of messed up. I've got new carbs that I'm gonna basically tear apart and redo. In the first video, I said, I have no idea what this is. Well, this is actually the choke lever. It works. It is not connected yet. And it's not connected yet because I'm gonna be changing the carbs. I believe that this is the regulator, and it's installed. I don't know if it works. I've never used it. I know the coils work. Coils are good to go, and the starter is good to go. It's the shift. I installed the shift fork, or the shifter. Works. And transmission, well, the torque converter, so we have transmission fluid in here. I don't think it's leaking out. This has been in here for about 3 or 4 days, so I don't think it's leaking out, and I think it's working. And I have installed the rear brake, and again, these are just easy installations. And this is the parking brake, so we're going to see how that works. So we can see how this parking brake works. I don't know how it works. We are going to figure it out. I know how it works, but I guess I just need to know about a spring. The tire is hard to move, and we're going to figure that out as well. And every single part that needs to go on is going to be installed, and that's down to every single washer. And I have the key switch on installed, which is kind of cool, but there was a piece of a key that was left in the ignition switch when I got it, and I actually found a key blank. I had to order it online. They were like $15 a piece, so I got 2 of them. And I found a locksmith that could actually make the key. So one more thing, you're going to see that I've actually used a lot of these sheets, and I'm not going to call them my build sheets or a build sheet, but I am using these things as a build sheet. And the going through and making sure I'm not missing any pieces, and hopefully I'm not, but this is what I am going through to make sure that I don't miss anything. So I'm not really substituting much. I'm replacing, but I'm not necessarily substituting. Some things I may be using and maybe adding a little different because I prefer them. One are these type of nuts and bolts. These are flanged serrated. They dig in, they do not come off, and I like them. They use those on modern cars. They used flange serrated. I like them because they grip and they do not come off. They are not like split washers, where split washers will come off. Those Schnorr washers are kind of expensive. They're hard to find, and I guess I am not a fan of them at this point. Everything else I've tried to size the correct size. That's the correct size for these stainless steel nuts and bolts. And these are the correct, and they're stainless. I'm trying to source a little bung plug. I used to have these on my BMWs. I think I'm going to replace this Speedo gear and pinion. And I have the dash on there as well. So I have, here is the dash that's going to be installed. And I have the speedometer as well. And so we are going to, we're going to start on the wiring right now. And I bought Greg Bender's wiring harness. Here's the original harness. I kept it. I'm actually going to lay it out as well. Here are the original switches. I've sourced some, and I'm telling you this, there is no way in the world I will use them. And they are so absolutely crispy, crusty that I would never in a million years use them. I'm going to keep them. If I ever sell the bike, whoever buys the bike can have them. I'm going to keep them with the bike, but they are awful looking. And here are some more. Those are just the things. I have done my best to I've spent a month and a half trying to source switches that look like they will function, and I don't have them. And the ones that I've seen online are scary, are absolutely positively scary, and will not use them. And what I will use are these Molex adapters. And first of all, I got to see what's in Greg Bender's wiring harness kit, because I think I bought almost everything for this. And because I bought a couple Kawasaki. I bought some Kawasaki switches that will look great, and so that is what I'm going to install. They are brand new, they are robust, and we are going to put those on. So stand by. I'm going to actually use the old wiring harness as well as the instructions from Greg Bender. So I'm going to lay everything out, the old and the new. So stand by.